And we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Wednesday live from the basement. This is not Alex, not Jay, and not Sam. all, all of my regular compatriots are either sick or working or traveling. So I called up some heavy hitters from AAA. So all familiar faces to everybody. To my this side. This side over here on my screen. Joe from Racer Records, Chris from Stylist Meets Vinyl, and John from Music Talk with John. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Not too bad.
Not
too bad.
Hump day, it's always good on a hump day.
Yeah.
Any day you get a hump is good, I guess, right?
That's what I'm going for, yeah.
That's my favorite kind of day.
Good evening, Vaginal and Trevor and anyone else tuning in.
Hey, Trev.
Trevor.
So what's new in everyone's world? Is everyone got a good week going, or what's up? First off, here's the easy one. Joe, how's the record store?
Record store's good. Bought 50 yesterday, bought 2,200 the day before. So
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all. Now I got to clean them and put them in a sleeve and record them and price them and do all that stuff. But the scary thing, and I think obviously in this company, everybody can relate, that I love that. I don't have a problem with that at all. From putting them into Discogs and looking which one it is and the whole 9 yards, I don't have a problem with that. Even the cleaning, end of the day, it gets a little, when you've done 100 or so, it gets a little tiresome. But
I would say after 2,200, I think I'd want to take a break. I mean,
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, I did the initial. I've got 3,000 in Discogs. I'm not sure if they're all out on the floor right now, but I've got 3,000 in there. I've got a couple collections I'm holding on to. We've kind of got a little bit of a grand opening next Saturday. So I bought a really nice collection that had some great 90s original stuff in it that I'm kind of hanging on to, and I'm going to throw that out there next Saturday. So although it's 3,000 in the system, that's not all 3,000 out on the floor. And then, and then another 2,200. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them, but I'll figure something out.
Are you going to make a little video or do a little live stream from your grand opening and put it on your store channel?
I think so. Yeah. Kind of do a little bit of something anyway and show people what's going on. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This weekend, I'm going camping though. I'm not going to play a record. I'm not going to look at records. I'm going camping this weekend.
Why?
Nice.
Why?
Nice because I'm going camping, or nice because he's asking why? One or the other.
No. I already know Rob's feeling on this. Rob hates camping. I'm the opposite.
Man.
I like to camp. I like the outdoors. So I'm happy that you're going.
Yeah, we're looking forward to.
What is the appeal of camping? I don't get it.
It's to take all your stuff and put it into a smaller place, take it on the road, set it all back up again, and then relax.
It depends what you're doing. It depends what you're doing too. Like there's different types of camping. You can just take your car, drive to a site, set up a tent, and you can hang out at that site and have a great time, play music, cards, whatever, drink, whatever you want to do. Yeah. But then there's other types of camping, like my fiance and I will do backcountry camping too, where you carry everything on your back. You're going in your canoe. You're carrying your canoe over your head. You're doing the portaging, going from lake to lake, and the appeal of that. Not to mention just the beauty of the outdoors, the serenity and the solitude of being on a lake. There's no one else in sight. You get animal sightings, and then also it's difficult too. So at the end, it's a slog during, but then at the end you're like, you know what, I accomplished something. It was tough, I did it, and you always look back, no matter how tough it is, you always look back with nice fond memories.
What's your thoughts on camping, John?
I like the outdoors. I haven't done true camping, but I'm with them. I don't know about all that work. I'm more for maybe the relaxation part of the camping. Get me out somewhere where I don't have to hear people, get me away from traffic, and I could go for that. Yeah, but maybe not the canoe toting part. I think those days are done.
I rent my canoes. Rob, you just keep shaking your head. No aspect. Like how about a cabin? Like a 4-star cabin in the woods.
Nothing. Nothing. Because you know what? I hate the outdoors.
What's so good about it? What's so good about the indoors, Rob?
Mankind has spent thousands of years perfecting indoors, and my idea of absolute relaxation bliss is on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. I'm sitting on my couch, my feet are up on the coffee table, the patio door is open, I can hear lawnmowers off in the distance, and I'm watching the ball game, drinking an ice cap from Tim Hortons. That is pure bliss for me. That's as close as I get to outdoors.
That's good. That's all right.
Nothing about like shitting in a hole and like grizzly bears and slogging through. None of that sounds even remotely appealing to me. Not even a little bit.
There's something peaceful about being like when I was a teenager, we lived at this place for a little while and we had a canoe, and you could just put the canoe out and just lay down and just let it float off. It wasn't going to go anywhere. And just that serene, just no noise, just nature. And,
Yeah. Okay, Rob, what about going to a cottage or something?
Nope.
On the lake?
Nope.
You like to swim?
Nope. I mean, I'll swim in somebody's pool, but I kind of swim like the Titanic.
Yeah.
So, I'll go to my sister-in-law's pool every now and then, but that's too much outside for me, man. I want a roof over my head and walls and, all of that stuff. I am not.
Anyone here familiar with geocaching? Rob, I don't know. I mean,
I know exactly. I know what geocaching is, of course.
Yeah. So that's another big part of, for me anyway, when we go to different places. Some places we've been enough where I've kind of got them all, but again, you have to be outdoors for it, so that excludes you a little, I suppose. But there is a lot of cool stuff that we have certainly, and I say my wife and I, kids come every once in a while, but mostly it's Joanne and I. We have come across a lot of very cool stuff that we would not necessarily have gone and explored or found because of geocaching. And it sounds silly, maybe not, but even graveyards. And I know that sounds maybe silly, maybe morbid.
Not at all.
But it's history, and it's kind of cool.
Sure.
And there's been a number of ones where we've gone, and and then there's owls. There was one time there was like a family of owls hanging out and stuff like that. So yeah, we enjoy that. I'm all for sitting and watching the IndyCar race on a Sunday afternoon as well, but I also like to get outside and do a little bit too. So, that's my plan for the weekend. I'm not sure how much of that I'll do, because I can actually take the TV and put it outside on the camper and watch the ball game if I want to as well, because it's glamping. It's not camping. What we're doing, but
that's all right though.
Yeah.
Well, since I brought it up and you brought it up, and Vaginal's asking, we'll get this out of the way right now. Chris probably has something to comment on this. Everyone asks every week about the Jays.
Yeah.
What do I have to say about the Jays? I was shocked that they designated Biggio for assignment. Yeah. Well, we don't really need him. I'm shocked that we did, but you know what? I'm happy for him because we traded him to the Dodgers today.
Yeah.
So now he's going to maybe actually be with it. He is with a team that's a contender instead of our dumpster fire.
He'll explode in LA.
Yeah, maybe. I think so. It seems like everyone we trade away explodes.
That's the way it goes.
Moreno, Hernandez. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I've said it for the last couple of weeks. We won last night. Kikuchi pitched a great game, or half of a great game. We hung on. I hate that we lose a few, then win a couple, then lose a few.
Yeah.
It makes me sound like a terrible fan. I want us to go on like a monumental losing streak, because that team needs to be blown up. We can't. We're putting lipstick on a pig. It's not, that team is not going to be a contender. So
it just never came to fruition.
Right.
Couldn't get all the pieces together in one spot.
And I think the biggest problem, is our front office. But
for sure, yeah.
So that's all about the Jays. That's all about the Jays.
I love. We're having a record vinyl chat. We're talking about out camping, outdoors, and
we're right in there.
Right.
How about albums about the great outdoors? There you go. Sure. Songs about the outdoors. Yeah. There we go.
Cardboard Head Guy, welcome, sir. FBA, I really hate that I'm for those just tuning in. There was a VC meetup today in Toronto. Ben Rankins was in town from Australia. Brian from Embryonic Robot, FVA was there, and I was supposed to be there until work screwed up my plans at the last minute. I had the day set aside, and then last night, one of my customers had an urgent issue that I need to deal with, and because I'm in, let's just say, industrial manufacturing, and as a supplier, if they have a problem, I need to go solve it. So that derailed my entire day, and I missed the meetup in Toronto. I look forward to hearing from you and Brian and Ben how that went. I really hated that I couldn't be there, but got to pay the bills. So.
Yeah, well, there comes a point in time, Rob, where you got to quit that job. You know, there's times where you got to make a decision. And
well,
I don't know if you made the right one. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not as big a YouTube celebrity as you, but I can tell you that the probably $25 a month they make off YouTube ain't going to pay the mortgage. So.
Yeah, you're even monetized. I can't even get monetized. Nobody's watching my shit.
Really?
So.
Oh, man.
Yeah. No.
I've been monetized for like a month, and I haven't even crossed the $20 mark yet. So
yeah,
who gives a shit? I only did it purely out of principle.
Yeah, that's not why we did it.
I couldn't care less about it, but it's if YouTube's making money off of me, why shouldn't I get a few cents out of that, right?
The thing is, you put so much time into your channel that
right,
you know, you're not going to retire off anything, but if you can invest any of that money back into your channel, get records, whatever it is, then it's worth it.
They put ads on the videos anyway, so
right.
It doesn't change anything for the viewers. So it's like,
right,
give me one nickel out of every ad. Why not? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Yeah. Yep. DJ Vinyl Vertigo, welcome, sir.
Mr. Scott.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Glad I made you laugh. Let's see, where are we? Darren, from the great city of Hamilton, if I remember correctly. How you doing, man? Alex, I thought you weren't available tonight. You told me you weren't available, and now you're watching.
He's watching.
If you want to join us, man, let me know. I'll send you the link.
Just having a poop.
Maybe
that's what it is.
He's on the phone.
Don't we all do that? We're sitting in the bathroom and take your phone and watch YouTube.
Yeah. You see, he had a courtesy of not coming up when he's doing that.
Oh, man, can you imagine? Dan, nothing worse than your team sucking and think that that's what they are, then they start winning. Thank the great draft pick. Well, I don't want to say fuck them, but we've tried for 5 years now to build that team around Guerrero and Bichette, and it just hasn't materialized. And I think both of them have some trade value. So we've depleted our farm system. Let's get rid of those guys and do a rebuild. But unfortunately, that's only going to be successful if we get rid of our general manager as well. So
to keep on the sports train, John, I know you're down in Florida. Are you watching any of the Panthers or NHL or anything like that?
No, I'm in the Tampa Bay area, so NHL would be the Lightning would be my team. Yeah. So, no, I'm a casual Lightning fan, casual baseball fan. More of a Buccaneer fan for the NFL. But, I don't let it I got into it for a couple of years there. Phone's ringing. I got to get it.
All right. Well, let me ask you guys, Chris and Joe, fellow Canadians on the panel. We finally have a Canadian team in the final. You guys rooting for the Oilers?
Yep, I am.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not paying hardly any attention to it, but I'm not rooting against them. I didn't watch all season, so all of a sudden I can't go, hey, I'm a hockey fan. I can, but I'm not. So, but yeah, I want to see them win. That'd be kind of cool. There's always the argument of how many Canadians are on the Panthers as well, right? But whatever. So it'll be fun. I got friends in Edmonton, and they're losing their mind one way or the other. So it's kind of fun to watch them either freak out because they lost or freak out because they won. So fun with that.
Let's hope they turn around. I've been casually watching. I'm not an Oilers. I'm a Habs fan, but I'll cheer for any Canadian team that's in the final. Why not? And I'm sort of watching with slightly more interest because one of my close colleagues at work, his nephew is Evan Bouchard, the defenseman for the Oilers.
Wow. Nice.
So I kind of know someone that knows somebody. So I'm kind of watching with a little more interest than I normally would. So
okay, better hockey song, Big League or the hockey song?
The hockey song.
Sorry, what was the choice? Hockey song or
either the hockey song or Big League? as the better
Big
hockey.
league.
Tom Cochran, or is that Red
Yeah.
Ryder?
Yeah.
Cochran?
That was Tom by himself at that point. So.
Yeah.
A hockey
Big league
song.
for sure.
No.
Big league.
John,
What's your okay, Joe? Be the tiebreaker. John doesn't know what the hell we're talking about. So.
I'm out.
I wasn't sure if a Tom Cochran and Stompin' Tom Connors reference would stump John being in Florida, but
completely stumped.
Big league.
Hey, big league takes it. John, there's a guy. John, you probably never heard of Stompin' Tom Connors, correct?
No.
Okay, so he's from Prince Edward Island, and he was a country folk singer, I guess.
Yeah,
sure.
Be the best way to describe it. He is as stereotypical Canadian as you could probably get, and while his stuff is serious, you like the Bob and Doug McKenzie thing. It's not a big leap from that to liking Stompin' Tom.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked
he has a hilarious song called Bud the Spud. It's about a truck driver that drives potatoes from Prince Edward Island. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
I'm checking him out. I got to check him out.
He is an absolute cultural icon.
You've heard the hockey song before. They play it at a lot of NHL games. The good old hockey game is the best game you can name, and the best game you can name. I'm doing a lot of singing on YouTube lately, just way more than I ever intended.
I will never do that. The viewers will just.
Yeah. I just tanked your channel, Rob.
That's all good. Yeah, have you heard Alex sing on here? It's pretty bad. Alex, if you're listening, I love you, brother. I always encourage you to sing, even though it's terrible. I'm still worse.
And the reason he was called Stompin' Tom is because he used to stomp his foot when he would play and sing. So
he had a piece of plywood on the stage, and he would wear cowboy boots, and he would stomp his foot, and he became Stompin' Tom Connors.
Yeah, that piece of plywood is equally as important to him as what's Willie Nelson's guitar name? It's
Trigger.
Trigger.
Yeah, the two are combined, I think.
Yes.
Stompin' Tom and his board, and Willie and his guitar. So and his weed, but
Yeah, Willie had to cut back. Poor Willie.
This is 90th birthday? What birthday? It was birthday the other day, I thought.
Who, Willie or Tom?
Willie, 90.
Is Tom still around, or is he gone?
No,
a couple years now.
2013 passed, yeah.
Okay.
I got the breaking news right here, right in my fingertip.
There you go.
Seeing what he looked. He looks familiar.
Just look for either Bud the Spud or the hockey song, then that'll get you there.
I actually have. I'm gonna slightly redirect back to records, and I have a question that I just remembered that I was gonna ask Joe when he was talking about his shop and the collections that he bought. Now, you said you bought like 2,200 recently.
Yeah. I haven't picked them up yet, but we're going to pick them up after, like, next week when I'm back on Monday. So,
where does a connection like that come from? Is that someone who knows you, or like knows a friend, or how did that come about?
Yeah, in this instance, it's actually a customer of the store. So the quick is, I retired a couple of years ago. What I used to do was AV install, home theaters, all of that stuff. And that's what on AV, where I used to work and still do, I guess, is. So there's a large customer base. And now that they know we're doing that, the collections have kind of come out of the woodwork a little bit. I've also been buying and selling and doing that for, about 10 years now as well. So there's people that know, if their friends go, hey, I got a bunch of records, you know anybody? They know that I'm that guy. And I think we all kind of maybe are that guy to a little bit of an extent, right? Like, Rob, I think you've been given some records because somebody knew you were the record guy. And Chris and John, it's probably happened to you as well. This big collection was a customer of the store. The last big collection, which was 2,700, was a person I bought some from, and I said, hey, always keep me in mind and let me know. And they let me know about the next person. So that's where those came from. So
you're Red from the Shawshank Redemption. You know where to get things.
I think so. Yeah, exactly. It's something like that anyway. So you do it long enough, and like I say, you just become the guy, right? Yeah. The guy that, if that comes up in some way, shape, or form, hey, I know a guy that does that. So
yeah.
That's
and
cool.
that comes with time and experience, and
It does. Yeah.
There's a lot of people that get into record collecting and they expect or hope that just things fall into place for them, but it really is about building connections, and that length of time you gain a reputation, or friends of friends, and you become known as the record guy, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, the tie-in with the store, because the store's been, the guys doing it have been doing it for 30 years as their own entity, their own store. It's been 15, so that's a pretty good customer base that I haven't used the email list yet, but I've used the Facebook page, which had a lot, and then I started my own and have done that. So, and it's just, it's word of mouth from one person to the next. So it's worked out okay so far. I'm not sure what to do now, because if I'm somewhat torn. If another collection of say 2,500 comes up on Monday, and it's good stuff at the right price, you got to get it, I guess, and you just keep filling up the warehouse, and you just keep putting it out there, and eventually have that. It's a buck for everything in these boxes, kind of a sale at some point, and
you'll have to start opening on Saturdays.
Yeah, well, we are a Saturday, not every Saturday, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily have a problem, but I don't expect the guys who are there Monday to Friday already to then come in on Saturday as well. But we are going to do at least one a month, and make it a little bit of a big deal, and then or a Thursday evening a month.
That's a good idea.
We'll see. Yeah,
that's a good idea.
So what's
Alex has got a question for sorry, John, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
So I'm just curious, because I deal with Kingfish Records here, so I see a lot of people. So what's your process? So you get them, you have to make that determination of, am I going to spend this money? How much am I going to put into this? You get it into the store. What's the process at that point? Like get it cleaned, get it priced, get it marked before it gets out to the shelves, or?
Yeah, for me, so if we go through the full process, it comes in the door. And then I grab a box and I start with putting them in Discogs. That's just the way that we're keeping track. We're not using it to sell anything or do anything that way. I'm using it a little bit for pricing, but really it's to know what we've got, because I know what we've got for the most part, but the other folks at the store don't necessarily. So it gives them the opportunity, if someone comes in and goes, hey, have you got, April wine XYZ, they can go and look. I mean, you can also go up to the bin and look, but maybe there's something in the back. So it comes in, I put it all into Discogs, and then I sort it into price accordingly. And I've kind of made them 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, and then above. So they all get sorted into boxes. Then they get cleaned, ultrasonic and some spin clean. And then after that, they get new inner sleeves, new outer sleeves, and then they get priced. And then they go back, and then they go out. So that's mine. I don't know if there's a good, bad way to do it, but that's the way that I've done it for the few bigger and smaller ones.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay.
You mentioned that you re-sleeve everything. And folks, if you need inner sleeves, and how do you should go to vinylstoragesolutions.ca and use the promo code Northern10. Just saying.
That's right. They've got a few new options on there. They've got some clear ones, and there's also a whole bunch of new ones, actually.
There's also some more new stuff they haven't launched yet that I happen to know about. So,
well, there you go.
Oh, he's got the inside scoop.
Oh boy.
So, I emailed the owner saying, hey, any chance you have this? And he goes, funny you should ask. I just made the prototypes the other day. They're coming and blah, blah, blah. So anyway,
that's cool.
I think Frank at 33 RPM just did a tour of their
facility. Did a tour there, yeah. With
That's
Jeremy, he's my contact there.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
How many do you all use Discogs? I found a problem with Discogs is finding the album that I have, and I spend so much time. I know it's in the dead wax, so I look at that, and then I'm like on the search for that dead wax, and I try to type it in the search. Of course, you can't tell if an E is an O, whatever.
Yeah,
a weird C. So how now, Joe, I know you're just using it are you creating your own entries and not using what other people have?
No, I'm using what other people have. And when it makes sense to, as an example, if I come across a Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, I will do my due diligence to find which pressing that is.
Right.
I see there's a question about US pressings coming up, and a lot of the times it's the Canadian pressing, so there's not as many to go through. So I do try
Just
and
gonna
make
say
sure
that.
that I've got the right pressing in there, especially when it's a Beatles album where there's 40 different versions of Sgt. Pepper's, and there's 40 different versions of Canadian Sgt. Pepper's as well. But again, if Tom Cochrane comes up, there's usually one, maybe two. Sometimes there's the main, and then there's the club version. It's gotten a little more where there's the Don Mills pressing, and I can't remember the other one. That wasn't necessarily a thing, but it's kind of become a thing even with Canadian pressing. Before, there was certainly the Terre Haute and everybody else's version of it. So when it matters is not the right way of putting it. When it's an album where I know that there are a number of different pressings, and certain pressings can certainly be worth very much more than the next one, right? An original versus a repress, things like that. I do look, but there's a lot of albums where there's maybe two, maybe one. So I look at that first one, and that gets put into the system for now. Now I also offer everybody, they can look them out, and they can take them out, and they can look, and I've got a computer there that they can, everybody's always on their phone, but they can look them right up on Discogs, a nice big monitor and things like that as well. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a lot of words to an answer, but that's
it's frustrating because I hear people say, "Oh, I have everything in Discogs." I'm like, how do you have it in there? Know you got the right record?
Well, you might not. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes does it really matter? Like, I mean, if you're talking about, and here's the other thing to consider too. Bearing in mind that every one of these entries that is in there was created by someone. I've created some entries for Discogs for records that there weren't an entry for. And sometimes you go to an album and there'll be like 6 different entries, and all of them have some of the information and all of the information, and they're probably duplicate listings that different people have created and maybe not populated the fields correctly. I mean, you can often get too hung up on, do I have the exact right one? It's a 70s US pressing, that means it's worth 75 cents more than the one that was pressed 5 years later.
Yeah.
Shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can almost get too hung up on the minutia.
Yeah.
It's funny, John, that you brought this up about Discogs, because I was just thinking about this the other day where I bought an album, looked it up. I found like every other version of it except for the one that I had on Discogs. And I thought, well, like, should I just add the one that's closest? But for me, kind of like, whether you call it OCD or what, like, it just bothers me. I'm like, I don't want to have that one because that's not the right one. So I made it. I went through the time and I made a listing for this new one and added it in. And that was it, but it got me thinking about it. I'm like, I wonder if other people, do they just, sometimes you feel like go for the closest, most similar one, or do you take the time to enter the right one? And then it's nice though that I've entered ones, and then you can see the history that 5 other people added to it and added some detail from it. So
yes, that rabbit hole, right? You can get down that rabbit hole. Like, everything I have is I decided from day one when I got back into vinyl, I put it in a spreadsheet. So I have all my albums in a spreadsheet. So I have all that info. I know what album I have. I reference it when I'm out looking for albums, going, oh, I already have it. Oh, I need to replace it, whatever. And I'm like, but it'd be kind of fun to put it in Discogs and, just see what the value is. But yeah, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. And then it becomes frustrating. I'm like, that's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
I did mine during the pandemic when we were all on lockdown. I'm like, now's a good time to do it. It took me like a week. I just sat there on the floor and,
That was the good thing for me about the pandemic was, it allowed me to really get accurate with my Discogs and really nail down a lot of the specific records that I had.
I got a couple comments I want to catch up on here. Alex was asking for us Canadians on the panel, do we often come across Beatlemania, Twist and Shout, and Long Tall Sally, the 3 Canadian-only Beatles albums? Yeah, you see them a lot.
Yeah, I have.
Are they in great condition? Not usually.
Yeah, I don't shop. I don't look for a lot of Beatles albums because I have mostly all the ones. I'm not like you, Rob, where I know you want every single kind of.
And I'm close. I'm 98% of the way there.
Yeah, I've got my sort of like, they were my mom's, like, most of them are originals from when she was young, and I've got almost all of them, and I'm happy with that, and maybe I'll plug a couple of those holes. so I don't really shop for them. But yeah, you see that Beatlemania a lot. Yeah, I think you still come across them.
Alex,
Long Tall Sally, maybe not.
I think I've got a spare Long Tall Sally. Are you looking for originals, Alex, or because they were repressed 2 or 3 times throughout the 60s? So, I mean, they're around. If you're looking for them, I can happily keep an eye out for you, man, because happily pick them up for you.
Yeah, me too.
And then Alex had a follow-up question. Let me just find where that is. He needs us to be on the lookout. Oh, he wants the OGs. All right, well, that's fair enough.
He wants Max Webster. Yeah, he wants what is it? Low class and high heels, I think.
I think so.
We'll
keep an eye out, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna go record shopping today, but stupid work got in the way. So
I don't know everything. That is in this 2200 that I'm buying. So there may be some Max Webster in there, and we'll see. I'm keeping an active eye out for the Max Webster stuff. I've got my copies, but we'll get you some. What was his other ones? I can't remember. Oh yeah, the Rush. He was also. I've got a moving pictures today, and yeah. So you just have to come and visit Regina, Alex. I'll set you up.
The VC Summit next year. We need get Alex and Sam and get Jason to come too.
Well, I'll go to Regina and we'll invade Joe's store.
Yeah.
I'd probably be camping. Not in the summer. Don't come in the summer. Just kidding.
Let's see a few other comments here. I'm behind on where I'm about here. Darren saying just suggesting the reissues of Rush and Max Webster are truly incredible. Rush on Mercury are better than Anthem. Gilbert, Kong, and RL did more Mercuries, I believe. Yep. And Alex says, I don't care what is better. I just want them to be a nerd. Fair enough. We'll keep an eye out for you, man. For sure. Let's see. Dan is saying a friend of his played the OG Rubber Soul UK version. And I just saw a face in mono was jaw dropping. Yeah, I love those UK OGs. I'm thankful to have most of them. I'm missing White Album, Yellow Submarine, and Let It Be. Other than that, I've got everything first UK pressings, and they sound fantastic. Love them. Just love them. I don't even play my Canadian ones anymore. But they're hard to find now because, they're getting expensive. And
I got this awesome copy. I've shown Iz a long time ago, but look at this thing.
That's in great shape, man.
The only reason I kept it, I found this, and it was in a dollar bin, and it was like this. It was like.
Hold on, I'm gonna make you big for this one, John. Hold on.
Yeah, there we go.
And I can get rid of this comment too. Look at. Show that again.
And it's just like, yeah, it's falling apart. You got all the.
That's pieces. Been well loved.
Right, and there was no sleeve, nothing. I put it in the sleeve after, but the freaking record somehow, being against the cardboard, stayed clean as hell. So I'm like, how do you get rid of it? How do you get rid of it? I don't even know what version it is or anything like that. But I mean, the vinyl is nice and clean.
As Alex likes to say, you don't play the cover.
Right.
That's right.
There's a pure example. Yeah, this one is in pieces, and I kept it. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Dan saying Max Webster Hangover has the inner pinup of Kim Mitchell, not the anthem. Jack's Music Corner. Sorry I'm late. Had to go to the orthodontist. Sorry about your luck, man. That's
that's not good.
Who likes going to the dentist or the orthodontist? Nobody. Oh my goodness. Hey. Mr. Kelly, how you doing, sir?
I see that.
Welcome. Mike, you never watch us. Thanks, man.
It's nice to see you, Mike.
There's a slap coming, I think.
Yeah.
You gotta get the slap sound like the duck sound. You just get a nice big slap.
I don't have a slap sound. We'll give you the duck sound because that's all I got.
There you go.
Hold on, here we go. There we go.
That's a funny slap.
That's all I got. I only got ducks. I'm still ready for your interview whenever you're available. Yeah, man. Let's. I'll send you an email. I just got to figure out with work and life and whatever, but we'll do something in the next couple of weeks for sure. Check out Jack's Music Corner, everybody. He's a young guy, just started a channel, and it's nice to see. I don't know how old Jack is, but he's fairly young, and
I thought he was like 13 or
13, I think. Yeah, and that's great that people that age are getting into this silly hobby of ours. So I love to see that. So
awesome.
He's asked to interview a few of us crusty veterans, I guess. So
yeah,
I would happily do it. So, yeah. Let me just go to my list of things that we thought we might chat about. So, let's see. Am I missing? Correct. 13 years of age. All right. See, I watched a couple of your videos, Jack, but my memory is about this long. So,
yeah, I'm not stalking you, Jack. I just happen to see. I don't watch Rachel that often, but I happen to see the episode where she had a moral quandary if she should allow him on the panel with the subject matter. So his age came up. So, yeah.
I have a question.
yes.
I was watching. Does everybody watch Dylan YouTube stuff? Right? I think everybody does, right?
Yep.
Does everybody, or is it just me that sits there and waits for the time they can go, hey, I have one of those, because of all the weird, shitty shows?
Yeah.
That's the wrong way of putting it.
It
But
doesn't
you know
happen
what I mean.
often.
I've never had that happen. I keep going. I've never heard of that.
I had one last night where he showed something and I went, hey, I got that. So that was kind of cool.
Nice.
And I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's the first time it's happened. And I haven't watched all of his videos, but I've watched a lot of them. And that's the first time. Actually, it's the second time. But I sold one of the other ones. I went, hey, I used to have that. But I actually went, hey, I've got that. One out of, if he's shown 1,000 records, I've got one.
You got one.
What was it, Joel?
It was, good. Yeah, I knew that was going to be the question, and now I forget. It's actually one that's at the store for sale. I'll figure it out. I'll let you know in a minute or two because I can't remember. It's some space rock. It was his new prog video that he did. So,
cool.
Yeah. I'll please hold. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll get back to you.
No problem.
So
that's funny.
I gotta ask you guys this because it hit me today. Well, not hit me, but the problem occurred to me today, and it also made me think of Brian at Embryonic Robot. He's done 2 videos recently. He's purging his record collection, and I am faced with the dilemma that my Calax are now full. And my thought was, what the hell do I do now? And so thankfully I have enough room that I can eke in another 4x4 Calax. So I'm good for probably another 6 months, and then I'm going to have this problem again. But it got me thinking about maybe I should purge my record collection. And I know Chris and I don't have huge collections. I don't know how big John's is, but Joe's got a massive collection. You got a few thousand, do you not, Joe?
Yeah, 3,300 or something ridiculous like that. But
do you guys ever think about maybe I should get rid of some of the stuff I don't listen to? Have you guys ever thought of doing a purge?
I like to purge every once in a while.
Yeah.
I know. And I know I was surprised, Rob. I saw one of your videos where you were saying you'd never purged before.
No. Because I don't buy a lot, right? Like I've been collecting since like 94 and I only have 800 records. So like I don't buy a lot. I'm only buying what I listen to. But I still go, I'd have to listen to like 2 albums a day just to hear them all in a year, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think for me, because my collection started when my parents gave me all their old records, I think there was about 107 records that I got. And in any collection you get, there's always dollar bin stuff. There's always some crap stuff.
Yeah.
But it depends on where you are in your sort of life as a collector. So like when I first got all I was like, this is awesome. I'm going to listen to every single one of them. And I did. And then slowly over time, you realize that like, okay, well, I'm listening to this a lot more than I haven't listened to this since, and then more time passes and you realize that like, okay, it's not a bad record. I asked myself, I'm like, will I ever go to the shelf and pick it up and pull it out? And if the answer is probably no, then it's like, okay, let's do it. I think I don't know if it was NXT Vinyl where they were talking about like records they're not ours. We're just borrowing them or renting them for a little bit. They live with us, and then you give either you pass away or you give your collection to someone else, and then they live with those records. And as long as they take care of them, then those records will keep lasting, and then someone else has it. So a record that I don't like and I don't listen to anymore, I try to gift to somebody else if I think they're starting out. I'm like, okay, like you might like this record, and after a few years, if you don't, then give it to someone else.
Yeah,
that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? Do you ever purge? I mean, it's probably easy for you now that you got a store.
Yeah, it's different now that's the case, because I mean, when people come in and I ask them, is there anything else that you're looking for? Because if I've got it here, then I'll come home and make the decision whether I'll take it back to the store and sell it. There's a few that that just aren't for sale, and I think we all have those for sure. But I haven't purged per se. If it's gone into the bin, it's stayed in the bin for the most part. I mean, I've bought lots before the store as well, where I bought 1,000 or whatever, and 500 of them went somewhere else, and 500 went into the bins. That hasn't happened for a long time. So I don't think I've purged in the sense of I used to have X and now I have Y, because I keep adding to it. Although I haven't bought a record for myself in 3 months, I don't think so. We'll see. But no, I have not purged, and that's probably why I have 3,300. And have I listened to them all? Yeah, I think I've listened to them all at least once. Now what do? I have no idea. Most of the time, if I'm sitting down here, I'll just, speaking of Discogs, I'll take my phone, I'll take the app, I'll give it a shake, and that's what comes up, which is kind of cool too, right? So
yeah, that's fun.
That's okay. It just mixes it up. There's days where I'm specifically coming down, hey, I'm gonna listen to X. But a lot of the times it's just shake it and see what falls out.
What about you, John?
Yeah, I always have that debate in my head. It's like, okay, you could clear up some space. And you go, why do I have some of these records? Some of them are like, oh, I picked up some from the 90s, like Alice in Chains and stuff like that. And then you play them and go, I really wasn't into that album. I probably had that CD at one time. Why did I buy it in the first place? So I'm always having that thing. So I'll go and I'll listen to an album that I'm thinking about getting rid of. I put it on. My problem is I find a reason to like it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, but there's certain ones, if I had to get rid of 50 or something because I needed to clear space, I could probably let go and it's like cleaning house. You get rid of stuff at the moment. It's hard to get rid of it, but then you forget about it. So I think I have, 50 I could do that with, but you always find, we're collectors, so we find that reason to go, well, we could hold on.
Yeah, of course. It's tough.
And I've still got the space too. And Kallax, if you're already looking online for stuff, Kallax can be found fairly cheaply sometimes, not always.
And my issue is not the acquisition of the Kallax. My issue is where the hell do I put it? That's my
I'm lucky I've still got a little bit of room in the basement. Not much. There's kind of a wall over there that's got some stuff, but I can get another 16er over there. So whatever a 16 holds.
Yeah, I'm going to get that rail out of this room because I have a whole cabinet filled over here, and then I have a bookshelf in that closet. Then I have those boxes that you can buy that hold about, 50, 60 or whatever. So I think what's going to end up happening is going to be a trail heading out of this room because I have every bit of wall space taken care of. So now it's going to head out that way somewhere.
Yeah.
But I want them in here, so I know that won't happen. I had a box in another room. I'm like, that doesn't feel like it's part of the collection. What's the point?
Well, I'm glad you said that because when I first set up my office, we've been in this house now for 8 years, and this room was unfinished when we moved in. So I built this office because I also work down here. But this was going to be the office and the music room. And my wife's like, I don't care what you do, just keep all your shit in there. For the most part, I have obeyed her. She never comes downstairs, so even if it did spill in the other room, it doesn't matter. But I had my CDs because I don't listen to CDs anymore. Because anything I have on CD, I also have digitally, so I can play it on my network streamer that's hooked up to my stereo. But the CDs were in a box in the other room, and every day it's almost like I hear the CDs going, I need to be with the rest of the music. So I had to find a place and put a shelf and unbox them, and they're there. Yep. Even though I don't listen to the damn things, I'm like, they got to be here. But
There's a reason why this is the music room. You know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling with the purge thing, because not that I need to purge a ton. Like I said, I don't have a ton of records, but as I've been going through and putting Vinyl Storage Solutions inner sleeves, promo code Northern 10, in all of my records, I was surprised that I'd be going through and be like, oh, I'd pull something. I go, shit, I didn't even know I had that. And I go, well, if I don't know I had it, why do I have it?
That could be good and bad. That could be good and bad. Yeah.
Well, a lot of it's kind of been, I'm like, oh, I have that. I can listen to it. But I thought, if I didn't know I had it, maybe I could get rid of it. And the thought of, I'm not a hoarder. I'm very organized, and, everything is pretty meticulous. So I don't have any hoarding tendencies, but the thought of getting rid of a record, I'm like, why would I do that? So,
yeah, it's tough. It can be tough.
Yeah.
It's fun every once in a while. You're watching a show or a series and a song comes up and, oh, do I have that? I can't remember if I have that. That's always kind of cool. So if for nothing else, you don't purge for that reason. So you can have more to go, hey, I think I have that. And then go, oh shit, I don't have that. And then you have to go find it. But
yeah.
Right.
I think there's always that fear of getting rid of something that you're going to regret later. But the way you can kind of combat that is, let's say, Rob, you've got like 2 records that they're good condition, there's some value to them, but maybe you don't listen to them that much. Trade them in or sell them, and then buy something that you really want. And then now you've you've upgraded now to I don't regret it because I love this new album that I got.
That's a good idea. That's not a bad thought, actually.
Yeah, that's a good way to.
I probably may think about that, but I got to assemble the new Kallax and put it in here and shuffle the records around, because it means moving all my records now, because the way I have them all sorted, if I just take another Kallax on the end, they all go to it's now suddenly a big project, but I've got, I'm looking forward to.
My danger with this room, so I'm up on the top floor, is that you can kind of see here that like the walls are only about 5 feet, like at least where the ceiling goes, so it goes from the center. So I can't really build my collection up. It has to stay kind of two cubes worth. So eventually I think I might run into some problems, but I'm good for now. I'm okay.
Well, and that's the problem I have, because some idiot hung a bunch of guitars on my wall all the way around the room, and they literally go all the way around 2 walls of the room. So I'm kind of in the same boat.
That's a good thing.
Take the guitars off the wall. That's a stupid idea. That's never going to happen. So.
No.
Scott says I'm a healthy collector. I guess so. And he's saying he's a psycho collector. I'm curious
I don't know if there's any
what that means. Kind of like Pac-Man, just gobbling everything up, I guess.
None of us are well.
I think with purging too, also like your tastes change over the years. And so a lot of times you're like, I used to love this album and maybe it doesn't do anything for me now, but like it served its purpose. You got your money's worth out of it. Now it moves on to someone else's collection. And I think that's a cool thing.
Yeah. Jack, am I a Mariners fan? That's a stupid question. Come on. Darren's saying, I don't know how you folks with 1,000 and above do it. I have just over 500 titles, and it's hard just to listen to those because of pure excitement. Yeah, I agree. I have 800-ish, and I can't listen to all of them. So,
and
I feel like if I'm not listening to it, it's kind of like the record isn't being used for what it's for. I mean, what's the point of just having something? I want to use it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we get that buying part of it too. We kind of, keeps coming in, and I thought I was going to slow it down, but I don't know. I look at the stack over here and I'm like, how did I get that one? Of stuff that has to get back on the shelf. But I've been pretty good about listening to about 3 albums a day lately. And it's kind of nice.
That's good.
Because inside my little spreadsheet, I kind of grade it as far as the quality, how it sounds. Does it have pops? Does it have whatever? So I'm trying to go through a bunch of records that I didn't grade. So I'm listening to some stuff I haven't listened to in a while. So it's kind of cool to do that, to get familiar with those albums again.
Mm-hmm. Well, that perfectly segues into something else that I was thinking about. how do you guys listen to your music? Because again, I come back to obviously myself as an example. I've got this many albums, and I try to listen to something every day, but I don't always get a chance to do it because I'm busy, work and family and all that other stuff. How do you listen to your music? Do you make time to sit down and listen to an album, and you just sit there and listen to it? Or I find what invariably happens, because I also work in my office when I'm not on the road, there's always an album playing while I'm working, but then the problem is I can only half enjoy it because I'm also working it. What's your listening habits like? How do you consume everything that you've got?
Depends on my mood, I think. I've got so like a turntable here in the record room, and then we've got one downstairs in the kitchen. And so sometimes if I'm preparing a meal or cooking or doing the dishes, or even like we'll play board games down there, and we'll bring records down and listen. So that's more of a passive listening and you're doing something else. But if I'm feeling good and in a certain type of mindset, then yeah, I'll come up here and just sit here and put a record on, and that's all I'm doing. I'm just listening. So depends. There's nothing wrong with what you were saying, Rob, where it's just in the background too. Like that's, that happens. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't get to listen. I mean, I listen to a ton of music in the car, because if I'm not here, I'm in my car. I mean, I was in my car for 4 hours today, and I have my entire digital collection there, so I listen to a lot of it that way as well, which is better than nothing. Mm-hmm. But I just wish I had more time to sit and purposely listen to records.
It's because you're always live streaming, Rob. You have no time to sit.
Well, listen, I'm such a big time YouTube celebrity here.
The people need it.
The 13 people that tune in every week.
That's right.
They count on this, Yeah. It's a good hobby. So,
yeah.
What about you guys, John, Joe? What's your listening look like?
Go ahead, John.
Well, mainly when I'm doing that, the 3 records a day, I've gotten into eBay lately, so I'm listing. So it's a perfect opportunity. Throw an album on right over here. Got there's my photo booth. So I sit there and I do my little research on the computer here, and I throw an album on, and before you know it, 3-4 albums go by. So that's when I think I've reached that age where if I try to sit down and put an album on and chill over here, I'm going to fall asleep. I'm at that point. No matter how good the album is, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm with you.
It's great. So I'm in the vibe, especially like jazz. I love putting on jazz or a good blues album and just vibing to it while I'm doing my other work. So that's where I can, because I don't have a family that's big into listening to music. So that's my opportunity to do it. Yeah.
Nice. Joe?
When I was retired, I had lots of time to listen to music, so I would be on the computer and doing stuff, and it's always on in the background. I, from time to time, will sit down and just specifically listen to something. And then now at work, I'm listening to have something on. I'm listening to grade them. I can't grade them all. I can't, audibly grade them all. So I'm lucky. I mean, when I didn't have anything to do, I was able to listen to records. And now that I have tons to do, I'm able to listen to records. So it's not a bad problem to have, right?
Yeah,
I would say. A few folks in the comments here. Dan saying his violent dream is to get my Essential 100 to 200 staged in custom front-facing shelves. Ooh, that's a neat idea. Like your own little record store. Scott's problem is he had a DJ business, and now being a radio guy, you purchase stuff to accommodate customers and listeners. Plus, you got a lot of free promos.
Yeah.
Free promos, that'd be a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Cream of the Crop only records is a collection, easier said than done. Yeah.
Well, it's like, Rob, when you're listening while you're working, even though you're not actively listening, but don't we always say like this music is like the soundtrack to our life?
Yep.
So that soundtrack's going on while we're doing our acting or whatever we're doing, you know, our life, but we have that and we can hear it. Our minds are absorbing that, so.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I find I'm a little more productive if I've got some music on in the background. It's just, work is, I like my job, but
it motivates you. It does. If you have something you're in a good mood. You're
right.
you're going at, it puts you there, I think.
My job is not without stresses that make me want to run headlong into a concrete block wall. So on days when, especially when it's those kind of days, it's nice to have some music on there that you just kind of go, it's just a job. I can't fix stupidity in the world. So,
either AC/DC and crank it and get it all out, or you put on something that just calms you down.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly. Yep.
Where are we here? Darren just bought Lenny Kravitz Greatest, but I rehearsed it 2 times and decided to buy it, but I will continually listen to it. I saw his Greatest the other day, but wasn't enough of a Lenny fan. I mean, like a few of the songs, but
first through 4, maybe, I think. Yeah.
I think Dan meant and typed latest because Lenny's got a brand new one out. He's also got a Greatest Hits, but Lenny's got a new album out.
Oh, latest. Sorry, I thought you meant Greatest. I can't read apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. He's gotten, it's I don't know. His earlier
I never want to hear American Woman either by the Guess Who and or Lenny Kravitz ever in my life. And I like Lenny Kravitz and I like the Guess Who. Just I don't ever need to hear that song. And even if Chris started singing it, the lovely voice that he has, I still will not enjoy that song.
Yeah.
It's a great album that it's on for the Guess Who, but there's certain songs in my life, and I've said this before, where I'm at the threshold of I've heard them enough. It's not that I hate that song. I might hate that song. I've just heard it enough, and in any form by anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about doing a video about that a few weeks back about songs that I always skip, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to be negative. But they're not songs that I hate, but they're just songs that's one of them. I love the Guess Who. I always skip American Woman, and for that same reason, I'm listening to the Eagles. I 100% of the time skip Hotel California.
Whoa. I see. I still don't skip Hotel California. So there's a bunch still, that are in that category of I've heard them numerous times, but I don't skip them yet. But but American Woman is one. So
I can't do that.
Mike's saying he hovers at 1,000 records, but I'm getting better at purging rid of a lot of CDs this past year. And have that side of the collection where I want it to be inventory wise.
I did that with my CDs. Like every CD is that's the, what's the phrase? What are we using the VC all the time? No crap in there. What's the
all killer, no filler?
That's it. My CDs are all killer, no filler. Got rid of it. I have a friend who loves CDs and he got all my other stuff and he's in love with those. So yeah.
Since I got Mike's comment on the screen, I don't know if you guys know this, but Mike hosts like a little party at his house every summer. And I got invited last year and he invited me this year. Thanks, Mike. Obviously not making the drive to Boston, but I was talking to Brian from Embryonic Robot. He's making the trip from Toronto down to Mike's party. And it is going to be the VC meetup of the century. The amount of people, I think, I think Jeff Witcher's going to be there and Gary's going to be there. And the who's who of the violent community is going to be at Mike's summer party. So
I would imagine Anthony will probably be there.
Anthony's going to be there. Yeah, a whole bunch of people.
What a time to be alive, eh? Where you can just stream with your internet friends and everyone can just come to your party. Like it's really fascinating.
Kind of crazy. So I wish I could make it because I love Boston, but hopefully I'll see Mike later in the summer when he comes up here because he's got family where I live. So hopefully, but
and then there's the 3 of us Canadians who would take multiple days to reach each other if we started today. Like I don't think I could get to Chris's in I don't know how long.
It would be a while. I think it would be a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could get to Chris in about 5 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, probably around 4 or 5 hours.
4 or 5 hours. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So yeah.
Music Sanctuary, welcome. Dan is saying next time I get to Surrey or Coquitlam, there are some great record stores that have to check out. I love the Lower Mainland. I love British Columbia. I don't get out there as much as I used to because I've only been there for work dozens of times. Now that we have a rep that looks after BC, who's based in Kelowna, I don't get out there very often. But hopefully I'll get out there sometime in the next little while because I love British Columbia. So if I get out there, we'll go look at some of those stores for sure. Lenny doing American Woman is a wall puncher.
It actually angers him. You might want to see somebody about that, you know.
I'm so angry.
Just make sure you punch in between the studs, because
You know, but what I haven't heard by Lenny Kravitz in forever is Mr. Cab Driver. How come that never gets played? Like, they play the hell out of everything else. I love Mr. Cab Driver, but they never play that. Not that I listen to the radio a lot, but
it's not a hit. It's definitely a great message in a song, but it's not a hit. They're not going to play it, you know.
American Woman is so overplayed by the Guess Who, you'd think it's the only song they ever put out. Well, especially south of the border. But I love the Guess Who. I really do. They're one of the first concerts I ever went to. The true Guess Who. Bachman, Cummings, Cale, Peterson, and
you better get it right, or you get kicked out of camp, Rob. You better get that.
Well, they've had a few lineups over the years, and there's current legalities going around about the fake band that's pretending to be the Guess Who. But it's feeling like summer. That means "Steal My Sunshine" by Len. Oh, fuck, that stupid song.
I was thinking about doing that summer thing, you know, songs that remind you of summer. It's kind of been weighing on me, so I started writing down a list. So I might be doing a video on that.
Len, I remember, though, they were from Toronto. That was a one-hit wonder from the late 90s.
That's not a summer song for me,
Do I think Glenn has more bluegrass albums or Beatles albums? I think he has more bluegrass albums.
Yeah, because the Beatles only have so many albums. Yeah.
Right? But Glenn knocks me for being a Beatles fan, but he's probably got like one copy of every album, and I got like 15, so I win. Tom Petty punched a wall and had to cancel a big tour. I didn't know that. Huh.
I was not aware.
Mr. Cab Driver from Let Love Rule is truly great song, really fun. My favorite from that album is Empty Hands. You know that one, Joe?
Yeah, it's like I said, not to promote radio, all of us that listen to our albums. It's just one that I don't understand why they don't play it. I guess maybe it's just the stations I listen to, but it's a great album. And so I just,
Yeah, Let Love Rule. I remember when that came out. That's a great song.
Here's a general question for you guys. And John, I already know your answer. TV in the music room, yes or no?
No.
Do I have TVs in the music room? Yes, because I'm watching on a TV, and I have virtual pinball, which I think we've all seen from my videos. So that is all done with TVs, and I've got a monitor back there. But as far as watching TV, no.
Yeah, mine's a leftover.
I would love to have a TV. I'd love to have a TV in here, but I have way too much shit on my walls for anyone to see my music tour. Maybe if I didn't have 15 guitars hanging on the wall, because I can play 15 guitars at once. I have a nice spot where it would go, but I've got like autograph crap hanging on the wall. And I keep thinking, like, maybe I could move that stuff and put a TV there. And then my wife tells me I'm an idiot because, 3 feet outside of my office door is a 65-inch TV hanging on the wall. Yeah. So do I really need one in here?
Yeah.
I say don't do it. I'd rather not. This is leftover. This used to be where my kids played when they were younger. Now they go to their rooms now they're,
Yeah.
So it's kind of just left over. I really don't want it. It just happened to be on today for some reason, but I'd rather just have the music in here,
Yeah, I used to have a TV in this room, and eventually made the choice to take it out, and I like that it's just like all I have in here is just the records. That's it, and it's a good spot for if we have guests over. And I love that whole sports bar vibe where you can kind of put the game on and you don't have to have any volume up. Like I do really enjoy that, but also I like the intentionality of coming up here and sitting is like what we're going to do is we're going to put on music and we're going to talk, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That segues into something else I wanted to ask. You mentioned, you have people over. What do folks think about your record collecting in the real world? Not a lot of people. people I work with don't really know. I mean, I don't really talk about it. Obviously, my friends know about it, but what do people think about, because the reactions obviously are often very like, oh my God, you still listen to records? Because there are people that aren't aware that records are a thing, or there are people that are like, oh, that's cool, you're into records, or what's the reaction from folks? Do people walk into your music room and go, holy shit? Like, what's that like in the real world? Or like many people in my life, they don't give a shit.
They're never as excited as I want them to be.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I'm like, look.
It's so true.
Oh,
it's so
cool.
true. Yeah.
Signed picture over there. No. Look, no.
Yeah. They either think it's cool slightly, or they don't care at all. That's what it is, I think.
You gotta know your audience. I have friends that are into albums, so I bring them up and they're like, all right, but then you have some that you just want to convince. No,
yeah.
You're not convincing anybody. Yeah.
But yeah, they never think it's as cool as I think it is. Like you bring them to the record room and I want them to like go to every picture and look at every picture. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool. Oh, whose autograph is that?
Right.
Happens sometimes, but not that often.
No, I never got the Melinda Murphy. I don't know if you ever saw that video that she did where the guy's like, oh my God, why do you bother with it? He was kind of rude to her, I guess. I never had that. I guess I have more polite guests, but
yeah.
What about you, Joe? You get fascinated people in there, or
yours is pretty wild, Joe.
Yeah. Joe's is awesome. I like the slot car track.
Yeah, I got a little too much going on down here.
Okay, I can't figure out what's going on back there.
There's a lot of things too. There's a lot of things to distract. So when people come over, we can play pinball, we can play with the slot cars, we can listen to records. So it's I've always described it as I'm very envious. My 7 or 8 or 10-year-old self would be very envious of what I've got going on right now.
You got a man cave, I think.
Yeah, for the most part, for sure. Now, with that said, I can't convince Joanne to come down very often. She does from time to time, but it's I don't know. Is that a hard sell for you guys? Do your significant others come and listen every once in a while?
Never.
Mine never sets foot in the room.
Yeah.
But back to our soundtrack conversation. She buys soundtracks. She has albums. Do you have another setup somewhere that she
has a turntable and some speakers in her office, and she has her own records and she listens to those. She appreciates my love of vinyl, and she appreciates what records are, and obviously that's her preferred format as well. But she has no interest in my collection whatsoever. And something new arrives, she goes, I don't want to know what it is. If there's an Amazon box, I don't want to know what it is. Yeah. And she never comes down here. Couldn't care less.
Yeah, no.
I did have someone. They didn't come over to see the record room. They didn't even know there was a record room. It's one of my son's friends' fathers. The mother and the father were over with my wife and the kids, and I was at work. And so I wasn't here to see the reaction, but when they came downstairs because the kids were playing, the father saw my office and he just geeked out. And I'm like, God damn it, the first person that actually geeks out and I wasn't here to see it?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Disappointing.
My fiance is pretty good with coming up here. She suggests often, like, "Oh, let's go upstairs and let's listen to a record." I wish. Yeah, I mean, the shelves is my records and hers together. We've just blended them, but I have all mine, like you, John. I've got a spreadsheet with all of my records, so I know which ones are mine and which ones are hers. But no, we're pretty good. She's pretty good about. In fact, I'd say more often than me, she'll suggest like, "Oh, we should go up. Let's go listen to a record upstairs."
Oh, wow. That would be awesome. Yeah, It's a very long room.
Yeah, Joanne comes down not often, but if we get something that she specifically, like if I happen to buy something and she specifically wants to listen to it, she will come down. But it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen as much as I would like, I guess. It'd be different. I could take and set up upstairs and it would probably be different. We probably would sit and listen to. So I'm not sure if it's the act of coming to the boys' room in the basement, or if it's the listening, because I don't think she minds the listening part. It might just be sitting in the basement where there's spiders, possibly.
So, follow up to that. Does anyone in the real world know you guys do the YouTube thing?
Yeah. Obviously, my family do, and my friends and close friends. I don't really promote my channel externally to my like Facebook or anything like that. Like I don't really promote it, but sometimes my family or friends will share stuff. Oh, hey, go check out like this. Go check out Chris's channel. So yeah, they know. It's not really I don't really publicize it, but it's not a secret, you know?
Yeah.
What about you, John, Joe? Anybody give a shit?
I don't know if they give a shit, but some people do. Some people come on, but you know me, I film everywhere. I don't film just in here. I could be walking. I could be in Orlando. I could be in Colorado.
Driving down the interstate
And just hit record. So yeah, people definitely know, because I'm like, hey, I'm about to record and do something here. You want to be in it or not? And they're like, okay, So they know, but they're like, yeah, it's a cool hobby, whatever.
I don't tell anybody about it. I mean,
no.
I'd be surprised if any of a couple of my close friends, I just don't talk about it, because I just do it as a creative outlet to enjoy the aspect of creating a video, and I like talking about records.
Yeah.
Anyone in my real life, do I give a shit if they watch? No.
Well, for the most part, it's people I've kind of gotten recognized now. Different records.
Well, that's because you're so famous.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I mean, it comes with that, and I try to calm people down.
I don't know how you go anywhere without being recognized.
It's all right. It's all right. So you kind of get that, and that's kind of weird too. When somebody's like, "Oh, I watch you all the time," I'm like, "Oh," and then
I've never had that yet.
Yeah, but I figured with my life, it's so sporadic. If I have an idea and I'm out somewhere, just hit record and go, and I'll edit something in later or do that. But so I think that's the only reason why people kind of know, because I just do it randomly. I just go. If I just sat here and did it, I don't know how many people would know.
I did something for work, because I wear many hats at work, and one of the things I do is I'm a trainer, and I train our distributors. And I had edited a video together of some stuff, and one of the guys that worked for me afterwards went, "Holy shit, man, that's pretty good. Where'd you get that?" I made it. He goes, "You know how to do video editing?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Learned how to do it making YouTube videos." He goes, "You're on YouTube?" And I went, "Oh shit." Yeah. He goes, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "Channel I talk about records." Like, "Really? That's cool. What is it?" And I told him. And the next day he called me. He goes, "I watched a bunch of your videos last night, and I saw there was one thumbnail that had Taylor Swift on it, and my kids wanted to watch it. So me and my kids watched a bunch of your videos." And I go, "Well, that's cool, man."
Yeah, if you keep enough variety, there's always something for somebody in there,
Yeah.
I did Neil Diamond, the first 3 albums of Neil Diamond, and
that was great, man. I love that.
Brought in some new people, and it allowed me to listen to that early Neil. It's cool.
Yep.
I have a few real lifers that watch, but I think it's few and far between, because those that are interested in what we're talking about, we have the conversation with them already anyway, right? I think those friends that are into it, they don't necessarily watch, because when we get together, we have that conversation about the things that maybe we talk about on here. So I think
that's good. I don't have anyone in my real life that cares, so that's why.
Yeah, I don't really have any friends other than you guys, so yeah.
I probably have more people into the YouTube thing that I do that than the albums. Now that I think about
it. The closest I ever got once to being recognized, I was at a wedding last summer, and he was a friend of my fiance's, but I had met him once, like years ago. And he kind of came up and reintroduced himself, and he was just like, "Hey, I'm Ben." And he's like, "I'm a big fan of the channel. I love watching you." I was like, "Oh, cool."
It's weird, right? It's a strange thing.
Yeah,
I think it is, because we know we're making videos for people to watch, but I don't think about it as I actually make them, right? Like I don't think as I'm talking to my phone that people are actually going to be it's not a really a conscious thought process. And obviously people comment and I try to answer everybody's comment, but it still doesn't seem like it's, it maybe it doesn't make sense, but it still doesn't seem like it's actually people sitting there watching.
Yeah, you're in that room, you make that video, you pass it on, you're done. Sometimes people bring up a video, I'm like, oh, I did that video? Oh,
okay. Right, exactly. Yeah. I got a few comments here. I'm way behind. Scott says he's going to be vacationing in Montreal in early July. Beautiful city. When you're there, you should look up French Vinyl Addict. He lives in Montreal.
Yeah, Scott probably knows. I bet you he knows who that is.
Yeah, well, you guys should probably try and get together if you can. Mike says he still loves the live American Woman version from the Paramount. Yeah, that's a good version. I still skip it though, but
I think I have.
I can't skip it on a record, but
Yeah.
The formerly great Q107 in Toronto played it routinely on Psychedelic Sundays. Andy Frost was your host. Yes.
Great voice.
Sunday.
Absolutely.
I like that P in front of it.
Dan says before tight formats, FM radio, even in the mid-'80s, was still awesome. I played a whole sides of albums and King Biscuit concerts. Yeah, those King Biscuit. I've got a King Biscuit 5 LP kind of set, and it's great. Love it. Dan B, the people who run the radio business aren't fans of music, just ratings and money. Yeah, isn't that true? Same with the people that run the record labels, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't listen to radio anymore.
No, me neither.
It's mostly whatever I have, and I have Sirius. Ever since I got Sirius, I don't.
I just listen to the Jays lose on the radio. That's it. Oh, speaking of, I had no choice watching the Jays game today. Decided to spin Neil Young for the boys.
There you go.
Watch sports in silence and listen to music. Not
that
bad
is
idea.
Cool because I'll put on Harvest, and Neil Young's voice. It's for the experienced listener, I think. But I'll put that on, and my kids and my wife don't mind it. I'm like, oh, okay, I found something here. I
mentioned that album in my video last week of albums I don't listen to, and that's one that I need to listen to.
Oh yeah, that and After the Gold Rush, man.
I'm just not a Neil fan.
There's some sneaky good, obviously I shouldn't say sneaky good because it's Harvest, but songs like Out on the Weekend and Are You Ready for the Country, just so good. They don't get talked about enough.
Well, I got that Harvest box set, and then diving into that and watching the video that came with that, with him making it and all this stuff, it just really. I think every music artist needs that behind the scenes of the album too, because there's so many things we don't know about the album, and then you watch a documentary 20, 30 years later, you go, oh, I wish I knew that, it brings that story behind the song, and he always has a story behind each one of those songs.
Yeah, for sure.
Dan says he remembers Terry David Mulligan working on Vancouver. I remember him for Much Music. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Yep. He was good.
I miss Much Music when it was a music channel. Man.
Yeah.
The good old days.
It's kind of like
Aaron saying Scott will have a great time in Montreal. He's been there twice for the Jazz Festival. Check out Crescent Street when you're there. You'll love it.
Mm.
Or check out the Montreal Ballet if that's your thing. And
Urban Dancers.
If you're Canadian, you know that the Montreal Ballet is not a ballet.
You got nice pros there, Joe. You did. That's nice. There you go.
See, even one of those spin around things. Joe?
Yeah. Next week it'll be 2-2s for everyone.
That's right.
The Jays are unwatchable. Yeah, damn near. I get the holy shit reaction when people come over. I've been praised as a pretty brilliant interior designer. You got to be joking me, Mike. I doubt that. If your house is brilliantly decorated, it's because Patty did it. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. As long as Colton's there. How is Colton? Yeah.
How do the effing Yankees put up 10 runs a game? I hate the Yankees. Music Sanctuary says she will sit down and listen to music within 2 minutes. Let's talk. Or out comes the cell phone. Then I ask, I thought we were going to listen to music. Her reply, we are. Yeah. Sometimes the wife and I, if we're going to, let's watch something together. And then, yes, let's watch something.
No comment.
Yeah. The Spirit of 77, in the spirit of 1977, a double live Taylor Swift album would be hilarious. Why would that be hilarious? That would be fantastic. Do an Eras live. That'd be great. Where the hell was I? way up here. Richard, you're late. That's okay. We'll let you off. You don't need to go to the principal's office. Yes, Biggio went to the Dodgers, and that's good for him, I think, because now he'll get to play. Your coworkers were already used to the F-bombs? Yeah, fuck, why not? My boss swears so much he makes me look like a priest. It's unbelievable.
How many jokes do you guys have about wood? That'd be pretty interesting.
There may be some.
A lot of wood jokes, yeah.
There's a lot of wood jokes. For those that don't get that, I'm in the commercial woodworking industry. So as long as there's no discussion on hockey, I'm good.
We already talked about that.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah.
Scott, you got to come down to Ottawa. So yes, Ottawa, Scott, don't know how familiar you are, but Ottawa and Montreal are only 45 minutes to an hour away from each other. So Go see Low Noise Jason Skills. Jason was supposed to be at the meetup today too, but then I think Jason had to work. So Jason and I both missed it, which is a shame. In Montreal, hit up Ox 33 Tours, one of the best shops in Canada, huge amount of used and new. I have never done record shopping in Montreal. I've been to Montreal many times, but never had time to do record shopping, but I would love to. I don't get there much anymore.
Wow. 12th night.
Yeah, it's funny. It took me a good year. Scott and I had probably been talking on. We're not that far. I'm near between Tampa and Clearwater. He's St. Pete, and we cross paths constantly. And we just happened to meet up at a record store finally. Yeah,
by chance or like you scheduled it.
He saw I was going to be at something. I think it was a Pearl Jam maybe listening party, and he actually showed up.
That's cool.
I think that. So we actually I saw him. I was like, hey, it's like seeing an old friend. You know,
isn't it though? I mean, it's crazy when you meet people. Yeah. I mean, Chris and I have met a couple times, and it's just funny because you see them on the computer screen, and you meet them in person. It's like you've known them forever. It's great.
Yeah, you say, "Hey, man, I haven't seen you in a while." That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Well, the first time I met Mike from MGK Boston, if he's watching, he came to my house because, like I said, he has family in town where I live, and it's like I'd known him for 20 years. And we sat out on the deck. Me and him and my wife, and we shot the shit for an hour, and we came down here and made a video, and just then we went to a concert. I went with him and his family to a concert. It's like I'd known him forever. It's great.
Yeah, there's no awkwardness to it. It's very
it's weird. How many times collectively have you seen Joan Jett live? None for me.
None. I'd like to see her, but
I'd love to.
I don't know. She's nobody in Florida.
Yeah. Just one. She opened up for Robert Plant forever ago, and I saw that. She's on tour with Alanis, but they're not playing anywhere here. You guys may get, I think, one date in Toronto and maybe Florida, because they're doing not a huge tour, but enough of a tour. And yeah, it's her and Alanis, which would probably be a pretty decent show, actually.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Nora Jones was here. I don't know if you guys are into Nora Jones, but
really?
Closest she got was the tip of Florida, the St. Augustine area, and she dipped out.
How far is that for you?
What is that?
I have no frame of reference as to how large Florida is.
We're talking, I'm in the middle of Florida, and St. Augustine is over to the right towards the top of Florida. So it's like a 4-hour drive. It's not bad.
It's a long way to go for a show, though.
I would have gone for her because I think you saw that where I have that set list. I need to get signed.
Yes.
Back down to Clearwater so I can get that set list signed. So.
Nice. Vaginal says Montreal has cool strip clubs. I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm off to Montreal. Let's go.
That's the Montreal Ballet.
Yeah.
Scott's going to see Orville Peck during the festival. What do you guys think of Orville Peck? Because I was talking with Alex about this.
I like him. Yeah. I think
I was looking forward to. He was supposed to be not opening. You don't necessarily open at a festival. He was supposed to be on before Shania last year in Ottawa, but he had some issues and had to cancel. And I was looking forward to it. I don't know how often I would go to the well and listen, but it's a decent listen, and I was looking forward to seeing him live. But I did not get a chance to.
Is he showing his face now? Because I know in the beginning it was the whole hidden thing like
And
Sia.
so that's what I wanted to say. And maybe this is superficial of me. I can't listen to his music because that stupid face thing, I'm just like, cut the shit and take the stupid thing off and just play some music. I just,
I don't know if it was a shine.
For me, it's so distracts. I just like, I have no interest in listening to the guy because I can't take him seriously.
Yeah, it's interesting because like Sia does it because she has major stage fright. So she hides her face and can sing behind that thing. And I wondered if he had the same thing. But I think
it just seems gimmicky to me. So
yeah, it could be, but there's actually a reason for her. I don't know what his deal is, but I think at the because he did the song at the Willie Nelson concert. And I think he was just wearing the cowboy hat. You could actually see his face at that point.
Scott's saying he's showing his face now. Well, that's good. Okay. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, everyone raves about it. So I'd like to give him a try. I was so distracted by what I consider to be a gimmick, and that's probably uninformed on my end, and I admit that. But
yeah, I don't know why he did it, but
with so much music to listen to, I'm not going to force myself to listen to something.
Yeah, the guy with the chandelier around his face. Yeah,
right. So where am I here? Jason's back on the train to Toronto now. You go back and forth a lot, man. Good Lord. George Clinton is playing the Ottawa Fest this year on June 22nd, once before at the Outdoor Fest as well.
Nice.
That'd be cool to see George Clinton.
That'd be all right.
Yeah,
Vaginal's going to the Atlanta show in Toronto. Neil Young is the night before in London, and Chili Peppers the day after in Toronto. Are you going to all three of those? Like, holy smokes. Jason saw Joan Jett when he was a kid in 85, 86, and many years, maybe 10 years ago. Yeah, she's awesome. I have a ton of Joan Jett records, and I would love to see her live. Is that true? She got caught lip syncing recently? That would be sad if she did.
I didn't hear about her.
Wow.
Don Henley.
There's many others, but yeah, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah.
Last time.
But what's everyone's opinion on that? I mean, I would rather hear a flawed performance that is a real performance than a recorded one that's perfect.
Yeah, I've been to enough now, especially like Bob Dylan with that graspy, gravelly. I'd rather hear it and go, kind of thing than think that they're just boop, boop, boop singing to a track. I don't.
Yeah.
I get that they add tracks to music to fill it in sometimes. I'm cool with that. But the voices, they have to be the voices.
Right?
In my opinion, yeah.
Yeah. You're not paying to hear someone lip sync when you go to a live show.
CD on.
I get if you've got a song and there's a string section in the song and you're not going to bring a string section on stage, so play that. But the actual performance of the musicians, gotta be legit.
Yeah.
Young Jack, our 13-year-old friend, he's, as I mentioned, he wants to interview a bunch of violent community people. So he's got 5 of them coming up. Look at that. I'm in good company with Alex and Stunty and Emma and George Borden. That's awesome.
I got to sub up to Jack. I don't even sub to him. I got to do that.
Yeah, he's very new. I think he's got like 5 or 6 videos up now, I think. So.
Yeah, good for him.
Dude in the lower right square, your pad is pretty damn cool. That's you, Chris. Your pad is pretty damn cool.
Thanks.
Let's just full size Chris so everyone can see how cool that is.
Yeah, cool.
That's awesome. Chris has a very good room tour video on his channel. If you want to check it out, it's I'm envious. I love that you've got this like top floor of your house. It's kind of like the music loft.
Yeah, it's very common for people to be in the basement with their. I kind of like this.
That's where I am. That's where Joe is.
Yeah,
that's where
I'm really looking forward to seeing the space when we come for the wedding.
The wedding's not even here where I live. It's in Huntsville, Ontario. So
it's been so long since I've been to a wedding. I don't care where it is. I'm just looking forward to going. I'm just kidding. Well, I am. That's not true. I'm kidding by saying I'm invited. I would look forward to coming, and if I was there and you invited me, I would go. I'm not trying to get invited. You know what I mean.
He wants to get in that room over there. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
I hate weddings. I don't want to go to a wedding. I'm like that curmudgeonly 70-year-old bastard that's like, get off my lawn. That's me.
So, I've turned into that guy.
I don't like leaving my house.
So the worst case scenario for you would be an outdoor wedding, then, is what you're saying.
Oh shit, I've been to a couple of those, and those are just a nightmare.
camping.
I went to an outdoor wedding at a farm, and like it was hell. It was hell.
That being your
was,
kid right there.
It was more unpleasant than, and this is going to come out wrong, but I got to say it anyway. It was more unpleasant than the 2 days I spent in prison. And to clarify that for everybody watching, I was not an inmate in said prison. The prison that I was in
was the marriage.
No. I was in a federal penitentiary as a guest because they were manufacturing furniture for the Canadian government, and I'm in the commercial woodworking industry, so I was there as a expert in the craft of helping them do things. So I was there for 2 days. I would arrive in the morning, and I had a security escort all day, and then that was more pleasant than the outdoor wedding at a farm.
Hey, if prison's good enough for Johnny Cash, it's good enough for me, man.
That's right.
I got to leave at the end of every day, so that was okay. But yeah, I was not a guest of the state. Let's put it that way. So,
yeah.
To be clear.
Yeah, and speaking of Johnny, that was I got to get into some of my country stuff too that I haven't listened to in a long time. So that was kind of cool. Like the early Willie and some of that. Like I didn't even know Johnny. I don't know who originally did it, but I know the Beach Boys covered Sloop John B.
Yeah.
But Johnny Cash did Sloop John B, but it was called "I Want to Go Home" or something instead.
I like that.
But I'm listening to a Johnny Cash album. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, holy shit, the dude's singing Sloop John B. You know, but I don't know who originally did the song. So that's kind of cool. You have these albums and you listen to them again and go, oh, crap, I forgot that song was on there. I didn't notice that before.
Yeah.
Getting back to her lip syncing, Jason saw Britney live in Ottawa and she lip synced, but she was moving and dancing like crazy, so he'd let it pass.
The snake was doing the singing, I think.
Yes. I would have been okay back in the day, but now I think she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But
yeah.
Huge shout out to Huntsville, Ontario. There you go. I'm too scared to put my record collection in the basement. Too worries about flood. Yeah, I worry about the flood thing too. Good Lord. Rob was doing weekend time. No, Rob was not doing weekend time. Rob was teaching inmates how to do wood finishing. So there you go.
Just Google Rob and Scared Straight, and you'll see that that early 2000s video of him being scared straight. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you, I was scared shitless because I'm just walking around with the general population. Mind you, I did have a security escort, but holy fart. Yeah. It was only a medium security prison. Like it wasn't maximum, but
did you wear
thinking these guys are like using saws and tools and shit. And, you know, Yep. Jack, you're picking up some subs here tonight. So
yeah, I just subbed them up. Yeah.
Look at this. Millie Vanilli were ahead of the time. Richie, I love when you tune in, man.
He's got his finger right on the pulse right there.
He does. Richie gave me the idea for my video I did last week about albums I don't listen to. So thanks for that, Richie. Scott, catch you guys later. Got to go film a video and finish planning for tomorrow's show. Have a good show, my friend.
Yep.
Good to see you again, Scott.
Yeah. What else is on anyone's mind? I can go back to our topic list if I want.
I was looking at an upcoming video I'm going to do. Fiffin, you guys watch Robert Fiffin?
Yeah.
He did that one where he has the favorite album titles. I don't know if you watched that one. I thought that was kind of cool. He just looked at the title of the albums and did a whole video on those. So I never really thought about it. I'm like, which ones really stick out? Are there ones that you guys go, oh, that's just a cool name? Does it have to go with the picture, or is it just the name good enough? Do you guys have those? Like, you know, like Fleetwood Mac Rumors is that a cool title? Not a cool title?
I think that's a cool title when you think of what was going on in the band at the time. That's what makes it a cool title.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to give it some thought. I mean, I'm sure there's, I don't know.
I know. I'm like looking. I'm just like.
There's some titles that have a cover that has nothing to do with, like, it's not connected at all, and I think that bothers me a little bit.
That bothers the crap out of me. Yeah.
There's one. Let me go find it. There's one in particular that comes to mind. I'll show you.
All right.
But it's cool. Like, I think one of my favorites is like Madman Across the Water. I mean, that just brings like images to mind. So that one's always cool.
I always liked the album title "Grave Dancers Union," that Soul Asylum record. That's a
cool title.
That's a cool title, Grave Dancers
Union.
Union.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a story, but I don't know it. For Joe Walsh, "The smoker you drink, the player you get."
That's a great title,
right?
Yes.
When you said that, that's one of the first ones that I thought of, and like I said, I'm sure there's a reason, or the reason just could be it's Joe Walsh, right?
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
The other one I really liked that I think is clever and it's simple is Definitely Maybe. Because when you think of it, Definitely Maybe.
No, that's a good one.
It's a great one.
So this one here from Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Oh my
Daylight
God!
Again.
Flying saucers. Yes. Oh.
Yeah, like Flying Saucers. It makes no sense. They don't make another appearance on the like. There's nothing to do with aliens with this album at all. I don't get it.
No, you're dead on with that one. Yeah, that is a mystery album right there. Yeah, there's. Go ahead.
You brought when you were saying that you saw that video on Fifthens channel, and you were thinking about doing something like that. I've been struggling with video ideas lately.
Yeah,
like
ebbs and flows, I think.
Yeah, like I had a creative drought like a year and a half ago where I actually didn't want to make videos for a while because I was just like, oh man, it just felt like a chore. I want to make videos. I'm excited, but right now I'm just like I'm at a creative like the well is dry. I have one video that I want to work on, and it's as some people probably know, and I'm embarrassed to say, I didn't listen to Bruce Springsteen until a few months ago, right? Not that I didn't like him, just never got to it. Well, I dove in headlong, and now I'm doing a Springsteen video in a few weeks, hopefully, with who I consider to be the foremost Springsteen expert, PC31, the vinyl policeman who's flown all over the world to see the boss. So he and I are going to do a Springsteen video. But outside of that, I'm like, I have no ideas. And I look at it and I go, well, I could do songs about cats or album covers that are stupid, superficial things like that. Or,
Well, this is a good one. I always jump off of somebody and I say, hey, I'm going to do that. And he's like, hey, I'll watch your video. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I just had an idea. Like, you ever get like, where you hear an artist's voice, or you almost sometimes wonder, like you thought it was a male or a female singer, and then you see the artist and go, oh, I was wrong on that shit.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's not a bad one, where artists either don't fit their voice, or you thought, I got the whole sex thing wrong,
Yeah.
So that's kind of the cool idea.
You know who's got an incredible singing voice? Chris.
Well, of course, yeah.
Of course, yes.
Yes.
I mean, he could spin off into a whole karaoke channel if he wanted
to. Maybe that's my backup.
I suggest that going forward. Yeah, we need to have some. Yeah, you need to open up the program with a song.
That's right.
And end it with a song. Yeah.
So, Rob, you were saying about just like coming up with ideas. That's why, because I know for you now you're doing like every Sunday, right? Every Sunday you drop a video. That's why, like, intentionally for me, I haven't.
You kept it a lot more loose, right?
Yeah, I know, and I've been like that since the start. Like, I know it's recommended as far as growing your channel and stuff. Have a schedule, be consistent, drop a video the same day, generally the same time, kind of thing. But I don't want that pressure of like, oh, it's Saturday night, like, oh shit, I gotta film something like tomorrow. So I try to avoid that.
Last week, so my process, and I actually enjoy the process because I'm kind of a creature of habit. So I film on a Friday night, I edit on a Saturday night after everyone's gone to bed. It's my quiet time. I'm down here. Films Friday, edit Saturday, upload Sunday morning. And I like that process. Well, I had no idea last Friday. I'm like, I have no idea. Then Saturday night, my wife goes to bed. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go down and make a video. And I still had no idea. Well, as I'm walking down the stairs to get an email from Alex, I'm going live if you want to join me. All right. So I said to him, I can only be here for like 30 minutes because I got to film a video tonight. Well, I ended up being on there for 2 hours. Now it's like midnight. And at the last minute, as I was about to leave, Vina Ritchie chimed in that we get talking about albums that we don't listen to them. Oh, there's my topic. Got to run. So then I film the video and edit it, and it takes me a while. It takes me like 3 hours to make a 20-minute video. So I finished it at like 2:30 in the morning and still got it done. And that maybe wasn't as enjoyable as it normally would be, but I still like that regimented routine of doing it.
Yeah.
Struggling with ideas.
I kind of go with Chris. I kind of, I didn't do one for 3 weeks. I just got caught up in a lot of stuff and just wasn't feeling like doing it.
Yeah.
And then I'll put out 2 in a row. But yeah, I know that you need to have consistency, but it's kind of like my videos. It's kind of random, I could be on walking next to the train tracks one day.
But you've got a lot of sort of cool kind of you've done your walk and talks, and you've done your I'm going to rank the first 3 out. You've got some of those cool recurring segments or whatever that you could do that ranking the 3 out. You could do that every week, or even if you're like, I don't know what to do, I'll just rank 3. But like you've got a few in your arsenal, so to speak.
Yeah, and those are fun because it's like I just did one for XTC, the band. I always keep hearing about it. I'm like, I need to listen to their first 3 albums. So I just did that. Yeah, so just kind of keeping it random, having those go-to things you can do. The new grabs is okay, but I want to try to keep it more, free, kind of.
It's a good thing. I mean, like, this is not a job. I'm the boss. So I can, if I want to fluff off and not make a video, then I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not making one,
Yeah, you just do it when inspiration hits and you go for it,
Yeah.
Are you still doing the shorts thing, John?
I haven't as much. I have some that I did, and they were obviously very successful for me. But no, I just haven't been doing it because it became a chore. And I was like, I'm good. But again, one short brought me half of my subscribers.
Wow.
I have an Etta James short that brought in 1,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Don't even ask me how. It still gets watched. It's the most viewed short I've ever had. It's probably going to hit 100,000 or whatever.
Wow.
What did you do in it that was so?
I was feeling an Etta James vibe, and I kind of just brought her in and brought her song in and just created a little short. Just whatever was in my head. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, this thing's taken off. It's like your Beatles one, like, right. You did your Beatles video and all of a sudden you're like, all these people are watching. What the hell? I did a Van Halen one where I bought a Walmart version of a Van Halen record when I first started doing videos. And I was just like, oh, let me just talk about it a little bit. And it was really bad. It was like very first part of the song. Had a really bad skip and whatever, but all these people came out of the woodwork. That's how I met Chance and a lot of different people, because they're like, oh, I had the same problem, and that hit like 9,000. I can't tell you why, but that's crazy. I can't tell you why, but
I just started doing the shorts thing in earnest like a week ago, and I'll feel they only take like 5 minutes to make one. So they're pretty easy. So I film like 4 or 5 in a row, and then I just schedule them one to drop every single night. I had to film a bunch tonight, and they're kind of fun because what I like about them is they don't require a lot of thought necessarily. Yeah. And I can put music in those where I can't in a normal long form video because I'm terrified of the copyright police because I got spanked once. So I like that because there's a lot of albums I listen to that people are like, what is that? Because, I like not purposely obscure Canadian, but I'm a big fan of Canadian music, and a lot of it doesn't get heard. So I can put one of those in there and put a little soundbite in it. It allows me to do something I can't do with my long form videos. So those have been kind of fun, but I'm just not sure what to do on long form these days. So
yeah, if you and Glenn had a point too. It brought in my subscribers. I'm up to 2,000 or whatever, but it doesn't bring up the views. Those people want short-term content, and I'm getting more views through the shorts. And there's a formula to it too. Like I was doing 2 a day, just constantly 2 a day.
Right.
I just got burned out. But when I was doing it consistently, my subs just kept coming up.
Yeah.
People watching it, people were just clicking on it, going, oh, cool. Because I was grabbing random songs and songs, okay, maybe nobody heard this song or whatever. But it just became that chore. And I was just like,
I mean, the one thing I've been thankful for, my subscribers are not growing at all, and which is fine, whatever. I don't, in the grand scheme of things, I don't really care. I just want people to watch the videos. And what I have found, though, is people are watching the videos a lot longer. My watch hours have gone way up.
Yes, that's something. So that's really
that's the more important thing. I'd rather people come back and watch the videos than subscribe for no reason.
You're honing in on more of an audience, Rob, that kind of knows what you're about, and they're watching longer, right? Like I know for you, Rob, you're obviously the Canadian vinyl guy, right?
I hope so.
But I also
there's
feel
someone
like
trying to copy me, and that pisses me off. But anyway,
you're definitely the
you've heard my rant about that, Chris.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you're the Canadian vinyl guy, and but I also feel like you're also a Beatles channel because all your Beatles videos do really well.
They do. Like the last one I did, which was it was kind of like a spur of the moment. Here's 3 Beatles records you probably don't know about, and that thing just took off in like 12 hours, like 1,500 views. I'm like, holy moly, that was almost an afterthought. So
those are fun surprises. I love those.
Yeah. So there's no rhyme or reason sometimes.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I have I have no expectations for any videos that I put up because you just never know. Like you just never know.
We're never going to be famous YouTubers, and if that's our goal, we're doing it for the wrong reasons.
We're on the wrong format. Yeah.
We just want to talk about records.
Yeah, it's got it. I've definitely got it down to the basics of I do this for the fun of it. Getting on with you guys, creating a video because I'm passionate about something I'm talking about. I do my homework, I listen, I take notes, and I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes it's personality.
Right.
It could be that. Some people could. There's some channels I don't watch because they just rub me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you don't know what it is. You're just something about them. You're just like, but you just can only just be yourself, do your thing, and have fun with it. I mean, this is an exercise in creativity, I think.
Look at how much fun Joe's having. He hasn't said anything in 25 minutes.
Let's go.
Yeah, that might be a record for me not actually talking.
You fall asleep on us, Joe?
No, I've been paying attention and listening. And obviously, for those that have watched my channel, I haven't done anything for a long time. I've enjoyed being part of these shows and the things that you and I have done, Rob. And I for me, it turned into more of that is what I was getting more enjoyment out of. I like doing the videos, and I'm still doing them for the store. I'm just doing something different. Yep. I had the Fast 5 thing, and people were watching, and it was fun because it was something that got me into my collection a little bit. Doing those, that was another way to pick something to listen to because I do those, and then I would actually listen to them as well. So there was that. But I've really recently kind of backed away from doing a regular video or any videos, period. But I've enjoyed, you and I, Rob, have done a few things again. Yep. I've been on here a couple of times. We did the Canadian one, which was a blast. I really enjoyed that one. So that's kind of where I've taken it. I prefer the camaraderie of a discussion, I guess.
They're fun. I really enjoy these, and that's why Sam and Alex and Jay has a sporadic work schedule. I won't say what he does, but he's several weeks on and several weeks off. So they said, do you want to keep us going through the summer, or do you want to alternate weeks or whatever? And I said, it's all right with you guys. I'm going to keep going, and if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, I'll find other people to sub in because I just enjoy doing it. Yeah. And, they're still my guys, and they'll always be my guys until they decide that they don't want to do this anymore. And I'm just thankful that you guys join me and anyone else that does. It's fun. It's a different way than just filming a video, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it works for me too, because I can't commit, to this weekly thing. But every once in a while I get that text. I'm like, ooh, it's funny because Chance texted me like maybe 10 minutes before you. I'm like, ooh, I have 2 nights. I can actually something, so I'll be up with him tomorrow. So
that's cool.
It works for me because I can't commit to a weekly thing, but I always get the text like, okay, let me check, let me make sure everything's cool.
Yep.
It gives me that opportunity. Joe, you're kind of, you have an opportunity here, especially being in the record store, showing the new records, talking to customers, or doing like a Q&A within that store. So you can kind of go where this thing leads you, Yeah,
that's the thing. Again, like I said, this is great because back to our earlier conversation about people coming over to our house. This is like you guys coming over to my house, right?
Yeah.
And I know the conversation's going to be good, and I know we're going to talk about, and we just haven't talked about records. We talked about some other things as well. So it's just a lot of fun, and it's hanging out with guys and girls, not specifically this evening, that have similar likes and tastes. Well, not even taste, because Rob hates a lot of the stuff that I like to listen to, but that's part of it, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing, and I don't mean that much. I just brought you up specifically because I was looking
because I hate Kiss.
Right. He hates Kiss, exactly, and I have the Kiss pinball machine, right? So,
in the wise words of my late father, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. And they serve a purpose, I guess, kind of. I don't know.
And we can kind of make fun of each other and do little digs because we know somebody's into something. You're not always talking about Taylor. I know that's your thing, but
people always chuck shit at me for it. I'm like, that's all right.
And you're like, whatever. And every time I'm in a chat, I bring up Billy Joel just because.
Yep.
There's John. That's what you do. So it's a fun thing. Yeah, I'm with you, Joe. It's guys just getting together, or girls, whatever, and talking about a common thing that we enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what, for me, exactly the kind of thing that I was looking for when I thought, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, right? Because I can only talk to my family about records so long before they stick their fingers in their ears, right? Like,
yeah.
So it's nice to just, I know that it's going to be, like you said, Joel, it's going to be a good chat, and we don't have to necessarily all like the same music, but we can still share the same sentiments about this great hobby that we do,
Yeah. And the videos, a big part of that was the comment section. So it's the same thing. It's not a live direct thing, but I enjoyed the comments because again, it was conversation, and it was talking about the things that we love, good, bad, or indifferent. It was always talking about it. So
yeah, the people in the comments, they want a connection with you just as much as we enjoy this connection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They not just a like, but if you can just drop them a little line, and say, hey, I was listening to you. They like that, and they'll stick with you.
Yeah. And there's some people who comment on my videos, and they don't have their own channel, and they comment like nearly every single video. And I'm just continually having conversations with these people. It's great.
Yeah. Vaginal. Thank you. I mean, I don't think that we are the best music stream going. I'm very flattered that you enjoy it, and we love that you're here every week. We love what you bring to. We love what everyone brings. All the regulars. I won't name everybody because I don't want to leave anybody out, but we get a lot out of doing this, but also the fact that you folks tune in every week and participate. It's awesome. So I'm humbled that you would think that. So thank you very much, because there are a lot of other folks doing this. So that's awesome. Starts off music, but they start chucking dynamite at the fireplace pretty quick. Yeah, there's other streams out there that are there's some that I won't comment on. Look at that. You got a kitty back there.
She washed her kitty today.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's Cat's name?
The cat's name is Monkey.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
And what's your hamster's name?
My spaghetti noodle.
Spaghetti Noodle is the hamster. So we keep normal names around here. The cat's gonna scratch me is what's gonna happen.
We have a bird named Jack. So there you go. When I say we, my wife has a bird. I don't have anything to do with the damn thing. So
yeah. No, but I think he has a point. Like keeping the drama out of it. We have enough of that in our lives. Keeping politics, religion, all that out, and just talking about this, and not trying to egg people on and get people pissed off at each other. I mean,
no, there is zero need for any of that. You guys are younger than me.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. I shaved most of my gray beard off today, though, in anticipation of being on. Anyway, as my point was.
Side note, I happen to have one of my older videos popped up in my thing, and I look at it and go, holy shit, my beard is almost completely white when it was not when I first started this 2 years ago, which is crazy. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry to interrupt.
Not at all. just as I've grown up and aged, there is way less time for ridiculous bullshit in my life. I try and get rid of it as much as I can. There's always going to be some, but I would much rather, again, have these types of conversations, hang out with like-minded people, and just try and be positive, try and be happy. There's so much crap now, because you said earlier, I tried not to do negative videos. Like, these are the albums I hate. I don't want to see the albums that people hate.
Right.
I want to see the albums that they like. I understand it's a thing, but just, we just need to get along better with each other. And I know that sounds hippie and tree huggery and
true
like
though.
No, but
the case. There's way too much crap going on in the world that to spend 2 hours hanging out with you guys and the people in the chat, that's such a pleasure. It's just such a pleasure.
Yep.
I had just a week or two ago, I had a negative comment on one of my videos, which I'm thankful and lucky to say I don't get many negative comments. And I made a video a few weeks ago about, feeling like I was in a slump and I wasn't, I wasn't finding any good records, et cetera, et cetera. And somebody commented about, if you think that record is good, then you deserve all that you're getting. You deserve to be in a slump and like, et cetera, all this. And I was just thinking about it and I'm like, it's, we were talking about people liking the music, liking the same music. It's like people who watch my channel, they don't have to like every single album that I show. And I'm totally fine if someone comments and says, hey, like, oh, I never got into those guys, or like, I never really liked that album. That's a normal conversation that you can have with people. But to spin it like negatively like that, I was just thinking like, what is the reasoning here? Like what motivates you to just come out the gate negative like that? I just don't get it. It's not who I am. It's not me. I would never do that to anyone's channel. I don't care if it's vinyl community or anything else. I would just never do that.
Some people just want that. They want to get something out of you and start something.
Yeah.
I just put
Yep.
All right, thank you. I just put
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, guys, we're nearing the 2 hour mark. Why don't we go around the horn and let us know what if you put out something recently, you got something working on, what do you want to tell the folks about? Chris, you want to go first?
Oh, you know what's funny, Rob? You asked me to be on this chat tonight, and I would have probably made a video tonight.
Oh, sorry, man.
If I hadn't, no, that's totally fine. And I'm thinking ahead of like my next few days. I'm going to be busy, so I'm not sure. I've got a couple ideas cooking. I'm not sure which one's going to come out first. We'll see how the inspiration strikes me. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff in the back catalog.
Nice. Joe, what about you? Busy with the store.
Yeah, the store, obviously. I mean, that's a big part of it right now, but people are probably getting tired of me talking about it, but it's been a great adventure. Every day is a little different with the people coming in. Again, that's nice as well. Again, it's talking to people and people coming in to find records and things that they're looking for, and it's a happy experience. Plus, like I said, I don't know if I'm a sadist or not, but I like putting the stuff into Discogs and cleaning it and looking at it and things like that. So just going to keep doing that. And again, if there's live chats like this that I can be a part of, that's my plan for right now. Anyway, is to do that. I've got a couple of concerts coming up, which I'm looking forward to. That's always a blast. Well, it's going to be a little while, but Green Day is in August.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, Rancid, and the Linda Lindas, who I'm not super familiar with, but looking forward to. Springsteen in the fall. Melissa Etheridge and Jewel is a combination in a couple of weeks that I'm really looking forward to, because I've liked Melissa Etheridge for a long time. Jewel I haven't listened to very often, but I'm looking forward to her set. But I think that's going to be pretty fantastic. I always considered Melissa, it's not fair to call her the female Steve Earle, but she has that little bit of, in my mind anyway, she's got the songwriter, the singer-songwriter, obviously. So really looking forward to that. And there's some local stuff going on as well. So it's concert season. I love concert season. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What about you, John? What's cooking?
Well, you guys just reminded me I had a video that I uploaded, but I didn't make public till now. So it's new used vinyl at Kingfish. So I just made a video of all their new stuff that's used. Call it new used. So it's a quick video, 8 to 10 minutes. So that one's done. I have a couple sitting there. It's funny because you'll see me in these videos with a beard. I grew a beard for a while. So all the videos right now are going to be the beard. I have to keep it in sequence, So
Nice.
So that one, and then I'm going to do the favorite album titles. And I think the one that I just came up with, the artists who don't fit their voices, or artists where, you heard them for years and you realize, oh, that's a guy or that's a girl, or wow, that doesn't work,
Let me ask you a question quick. I'm on the fence of doing a full bin full of videos, or making a video about a full bin about my used stuff, because I want people to come in and have it be a surprise. So what are your thoughts? Are you torn on that? Because I'd also like to go, here's the bin of stuff, so people see that and do come in. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to play that out yet, because I've only done one so far, and I kind of did it as I just pulled out random. Hey, we've got this. Come in and see what else we've got.
Do a full bin. Why not? I mean, as long as you don't do it like every week, there will still be surprises for folks. I'd do it.
You got great opportunity for shorts. You got you can just show 10 to 20 records. Boom, 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 boom. Add whatever music you want to it. You can crank those out. But my experience with Kingfish is their used records get more response, comments, views than the new stuff does.
Yeah.
People want to see that new stuff. They want to see what you have in that store, and you want to use it as a commercial to bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that's just where I was torn, was do I want to show them everything and then they don't see anything and they don't like it, or do I just want to show them a little bit, makes them come in? So I haven't found my footing yet, for sure.
You can tease them a little bit. Say, we've got these, we got a video coming up and they're in the back. So,
but there's more. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. Thank you.
As for me, let's see. Last weekend was albums that I don't listen to a lot. I am going to do a follow-up on it because someone said after you listen to those, do a video. And so I probably will in a couple of weeks. I've listened to almost all of them since then, and many of them I went, why haven't I listened to that in years? So it's been good to sort of rediscover albums that I had forgotten about or hadn't given a fair shake. And then I think this weekend's video, there's a channel, and I can't remember who it is because my memory is shit, but someone is doing a thread about female vocalists or singers or artists or whatever. And they want.
Yeah, it's On My Turntable.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's a new channel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that because I've got a bunch of female artists that I probably have never shown before. So, I think that's probably going to be Sunday's video. And then I think I'm going to start sending emails to plan our next Canadians Talk About Canadian Music. So Chris, Joe, I'll send you guys both an email on that, and maybe we can plan something in the next, 3 or 4 weeks. It takes, 3 or 4 weeks for everyone to get their schedules together and actually do one of those. But that was well received, and everyone that did it said they enjoyed doing it. So it'd be good to do one of those again. So,
Nice.
So that's where we're at. And I guess I got to squeeze another podcast in at some point in time too. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but inspiration will strike me at some point, I'm sure. So, you guys have anything else, or you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're all good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And the cat. Thank you guys for joining me. For those watching, please, if you haven't already, subscribe to Chris at Stylus Meets Vinyl, Joe at Racer Records, and Music Talk with John. Thank you, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to spend some time with you. And the folks in the comments, thank you for spending a couple hours listening to us ramble like idiots. We appreciate you, and thanks for watching.
That's what we do.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Catch you later.